he shared a quote from Aldous Huxley on approaching life with lightness, even in the face of difficulty. He says, "It's dark because you are trying too hard. Lightly, child, lightly. Learn to do everything lightly. Yes, feel lightly even though you're feeling deeply. Just lightly let things happen and lightly cope with them." I was so preposterously serious in those days, such a humorless little prig. Lightly, lightly. It's the best advice ever given me. So throw away your baggage and go forward. There are quicksands all about you, sucking at your feet, trying to suck you down into fear and self-pity and despair. That's why you must walk so lightly.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tyburczy.
You know who's helpful in this? Do you know Oliver Burkeman?
Sounds familiar.
He wrote a book called 4,000 Weeks, the subtitle of which is Time Management for Mortals. And one of the things that he has offered that is really helpful is he's like, think of your to-do list, and I'll say even more so, think of your queue of entertainment that you want to take in as a menu and not as an exhaustive list of things that must be completed. But in terms of like, you go to a restaurant, you're like, oh, I want to order everything on this. Sometimes I go to a vegan restaurant as a vegan person and I'm like, I would like to order one of everything, but that would not be healthy or financial. It would not be, health wise or financial health wise possible.
Makes no sense except for the joy part.
Yes. So just think about it as a menu, literally, if it's a menu, and for the to-do list for the movie queue to be like, oh, what do I feel like dining on tonight?
Hello, and what is up, my friends? How are we doing right now? It's a new day. It's a new podcast. This is episode 64? 64. Jeez Louise. You're like the number of an offensive guard. You know what I mean? In football, not in basketball. If you saw a guard with the number 64 on a basketball court, you'd be like, that guy probably likes crack. I don't know what kind of crack, but they probably like it. You see a guard with 64 on the court, they've got something going on. They're like Patrick Beverly. You know what I mean? That's like some kind of player who just wants to make people feel weird. If you were playing basketball in the NBA and you saw an opposing guard with the number 64, you'd be like, who is this freaking clown? Actually, you probably wouldn't care because you're a world-class athlete, and that wouldn't matter one freaking iota to you if some guy had the number 64. But it matters an iota to me. It matters 64 iotas to me because 64 episodes is nothing to shake a stick at, nor is it a thing to sneeze at. And I've been sneezing a lot this week. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about them sneezies, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I'm here, not sneezing today, thankfully. Oh my gosh, I got back from my trip away and the return home sicknesses hit me. Oh my gosh, it was like blah, blah, blah. But I'm on the other side now. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling gooder. I'm feeling weller. I'm feeling stronger. I'm going to get a workout in today. I haven't been doing workouts too much for the last week just because I'm trying to give my body some time to rest, some time to heal, some time to recoup. Hooray! You know what I'm saying. But I'm excited because I'm going to get going. Like I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm going to have to adjust some of my workouts. I'm going to choose to adjust them to make them a little less intense, quite honestly. I'm starting this 90-day challenge on April 1st with anybody who wants to join. If you want to join the challenge on April 1st, shoot me an email or a text, message me out there, and we're going to get going. That's 90 days of coaching and support and workouts and ideas for you to stay on freaking track, dog. Stay on freaking track. You on that track, dog? I don't know. I'd love to help, though. You want to be on a track? I've got some that you could track along with. And that's what we're going to do. So reach out. It's essentially built around numerous strength training workouts per week and 1 to 3 movement or cardio sessions a week on top of that. It's not going to be crazy. It's about making balanced choices, smart decisions for your life, just being a little thoughtful about what you eat, trying to get rest on a regular basis, not beating yourself up constantly in a way that's going to lead to negative results, you know? I'm here about lifting us all up. I'm here about making us better. That's what I care about, dog. That's what I care about. If I can help you be a better person through health, a better comedian through feeling better, that's what I'm talking about. That's literally what I'm talking about. Work out, feel good, be funny. Work out, feel good, be funny. Say it with me, partner. Say it with me, friend. Work out, feel good, be funny. That's life. That's what we're here for, right? I can't think of other stuff. Feeling good, being funny, working out, loving people. Work out, feel good, be funny, love people. Okay? That's my mess. That's the Sige. That's my essage. My essa. Shout out to John Essa. I'm starting that 90-day challenge. I've already got there's a dozen or more people who've already reached out who are excited just from a couple little posts online. And that's what I want. I want to create a community of people who are ready to move forward. You can be a comedian. You can be a not comedian. You can be a human being. You could be a friggin' Cocker Spaniel for all I care. You hear me out there, Barbara the Cocker Spaniel? Come join this 90-day challenge. We'll get you all the bones you want, doggy. So if you're like Barbara, the Cocker Spaniel, who's ready to go, excited, what's next? Then join. I'm excited. I'm working on workout plans. I'm working on content. I'm working on material. I work with everybody week by week. I'll send you a couple personal messages. We'll text a bit. We'll have a couple of check-ins as well. We'll have video check-ins as well. And here's the thing, if you want to be part of the challenge for free of charge, you got to be willing to be on the podcast once or twice. Share that story. What are you trying to do? What are your goals? Why are they what they are? Do you know the reasoning behind your desire to accomplish certain things? Because that's a big part of it too. Sorry, you're going to have to work on your brain? Ugh, yuck, that sucks. I don't want to work on my brain. I don't want to work on things that help me feel better. I love feeling like shit, Rudy. You should know that about me. I'm a comedian. I love to feel like hell. Okay, great. Well, then stay there. Keep doing that. Honestly, it could be working for you. It could be working for you. I don't know. So that's the next 90 days. It's going to be built around strength training. So lifting some weights, progressive overload, getting stronger over time, increasing the weights or the reps regularly. If you don't have access to a gym, if you're not a member of a gym, we can adjust. We can do some home workouts. But I will tell you this, if you're able to get a gym membership, Planet Fitness is like $10 a month right now. You know what there's a Crunch in Eugene is like $10. If it's money, if that's the barrier, there's options out there for you. And so that's why I mentioned those places. I love being a member at the Y. I love going to West Coast Strength. I'm happy to be a part of these communities, these fitness communities here in my town. But that's not a possibility for everyone. And if you just want to do this by being at home, you can also. But know that your results are going to change. If you're able to lift heavy, be strong, gain muscle, that's the goal. That's the goal, is to help our bodies move better and to get stronger. We want to gain muscle. Muscle is a good thing for our bodies. Okay? So focus on that. Try to get stronger over time. And we're going to build around the 6 primary movement patterns. I know I talk about these all the time. I pound them to a pulp. Squat, hinge, lunge, push, pull, carry. Those are the things. Those are the 6 primary movement patterns. Squats, hinges, lunges, lower body, push, pull, carry, primarily upper body. But they all work together, okay? And my goal is to help people learn about those 6 movement patterns. And then you do an exercise in each of the movement patterns, 3 sets of 8 to 12, getting stronger each week. Boom. 3 workouts a week. Boom. there's workouts for life. I've been working on those full body ones. Month 1 is going to be full body. Month 2, we'll switch it up. And month 3, we'll switch it up too. All right. But if you know anything about lifting, if you know the basics about going to the gym and lifting and working out, this stuff isn't going to be crazy new. It's not going to be crazy new. I'm just hoping to maybe contextualize stuff a little bit more. Because if our bodies can push, can pull, can hinge, can squat, those kinds of things, we're going to feel better in our day-to-day. We're going to feel better when we're waking up in the morning. We're going out for a dog walk. When we're petting them cats. You know what I mean? When we're picking up those babies. Gosh, you guys got babies out there. God bless you. I sure don't. I got cats. I love them. They sure take some time. That's for sure. I'm happy they do. And so, yeah. Few lifting days a week. We're going to start with the basics. If you don't know a ton, let's get it comfortable. That's comfortable. We're getting comfortable with it. We're trying to figure out a bit about how to move, how our bodies work. What does that feel like for you? What's an incline dumbbell press feel like for you? What's a goblet squat feel like? How about a barbell deadlift? What do those things feel like for you? Can you hang from a bar? How about a dead hang? Let's have a dead hang. That's not just a green room for ghosts and ghouls. A dead hang. I'd have a dead hang. It's just hanging from a bar and not doing anything. Maybe try scapular push-up. You ever done one of those? I don't know. What's your favorite exercise? What exercises do y'all like? Tell me. Okay? Let me know. What exercises do you hate? And if you're working with somebody like a trainer or a coach or anything like that, they should be listening to you and what you can and can't do, your injuries, all that kind of stuff. If you're somebody who's going to be a part of the 90-day challenge, make sure that you have clearance to get going forward, that your body's okay. It's going to be challenging in ways that you may or may not be accustomed to, and that's all right. That's okay. I had a client who was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do the squats anymore. My legs were sore. And it's like, that's correct. They're sore. And you might not always want to do the squats, but guess what? You only get to skip leg day once. That's it. Sorry. You get to skip it once and then never again. Never again. Unless your legs are gone. And then I'll give you some leeway. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're going to be lifting. And also it's about making mindful choices with food. I don't have some crazy super strict diet. Part of the reason I love to work out is so I can that's the sound I make when I eat. Nobody likes to eat around me. But and it's not like I'm going wild. I'm just like okay with eating some food that isn't 100% clean all the time. Could that benefit me more if I tighten things up? You're dang right. Sure, yeah. But that's not like my primary motivating factor. I want to feel good. I want to feel confident. I want to feel strong. I want my body to be able to move. I want my body to be able to move. You want to move your body? Move your body. Then move it. That's what we're here to do. Yeah, Whole Foods, that kind of stuff. The three things that anybody can focus on every day in what they put in their body is protein, fiber, and water. I have no problem telling everyone that. Prioritize protein, fiber, and water. Make sure you're getting a ton of all of those. Shoot for 150 grams of protein. I don't care how big you are. 150 grams is harder than you think. And if you're not trying to get protein in your diet, you're probably not getting there. So shoot for that. 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. And try to get fiber every day. What is it? I don't know what the recommendations are, but 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day is usually pretty good. Let's do a quick search. What are the recommended? How much fiber should people eat in a day? Come on now. General recommendations. Most health organizations recommend that adults consume 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. So 25 grams for women age 50 or younger, 21 grams for women older than 50, 30 grams for men older than 50, 38 grams for men 50 or younger. So yeah, 30 to 40 grams of protein a day is probably pretty good. Legumes, whole wheats, vegetables, that kind of stuff. So eat foods that have fiber. Read nutrition labels, okay? Or don't. If you don't want to be aware of what you're putting in your body, don't read nutrition labels, okay? I'm just kind of giving a basic outline for some of the things that we're going to be doing, focusing on over the next 90 days. And with support, I'm happy to be there for you. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm going to be doing it myself. So we'll have like checklists, 3 to 4 strength training workouts a week, 1 to 3 cardio or movement sessions a week, regular eating, and also you cannot the three parts of gains for anyone. The 3 parts of gains are movement, so the strength training we do, the movement we do, all that kind of stuff. Nutrition, what are we putting in our bodies? What are we putting in there? Do we have enough energy to do the things we want to do, to make the improvements we want to make, whether that's getting stronger, losing weight, having more energy? Are we fueling our bodies how we should be? And that also, if you are a drinker and a smoker, well, you're not going to reach goals as quickly, but that's your call. You can drink and smoke as much as you want, but you just have to be realistic about what that is limiting you from accomplishing. That's one of those things that most comics don't even want to ever wrestle with. Nobody wants to wrangle with the idea that we probably shouldn't be drinking and smoking as much as we are. That's like the comics hangout handbook. Like, you got a drink, you got something to smoke, well then yeah, come hang out. We're kicking it. We're the drinkers and smokers, you know? That's what comics do. And so when I'm trying to like get healthier and help other people do that, they're like, fucking go climb a tree, bro. Climb a tree. I'll be smoking at the bottom with my 40. And I guess I get it. I've been there. Oh my gosh. Remember, I used to love those 40s, those big glass 40s or 32 ounce Miller High Lifes. Some of my bars, John Henry's, I think still has them. Oh man, I loved those things. I never played Edward 40 hands though, because I would have pissed my pants. And I don't want to pee my pants. Sorry. Uh, but I did. And when I moved to Korea, I was a cigarette smoker. I moved to Korea in 2008 and I was like smoking here and there. And packs of cigarettes were $2.50 at the time. You could smoke in any bar, in any place you wanted. So I've had those years where I've just been doing the dumb stuff, especially when I started stand up. I started in Korea when I had an abundance of money and time. My working hours were like 4 to 10 p.m. So I could like go out, do anything I wanted most nights of the week. And it was wild. And I'm probably paying the price for it now. But who knows? So yeah, just know that. If you want to keep that stuff in your life, you can. You can. That's your call. Have fun with it. Enjoy. But it's not going to make it easier for you to meet your goals. Yeah. Because you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent no matter what. Like, that's the thing. Like, we got to be having regular days of movement, of exercise, of strength training in our life all the time. And so just keep that in mind. I'll be there for you. That's part of the fun, is helping people stay on track. I'll be bugging you along the way. I'll be reaching out. I'll be sending you resources. I'll be giving you workouts. I'll be asking about your nutrition and your mental and your physical, all that jiznaz. Whoops. Another thing I'm excited about is the 90-day journal. This is an idea I've had for a long time, but it's going to be part of the challenge. And all you need to do is write one line, one sentence, one word every day on the physical and on the mental, okay? On the jokes and on the gym, all right? One thing every day for 90 days. Write it down. Anything. It could be, I just sat on the ground and breathed for 5 minutes. Great. That's a great way to start. I just sat for 5 minutes and breathed today. That was a good start of my day. And if you write it down, that could be in your physical or your mental. I don't know. Maybe you got a workout in. Maybe you wrote a joke. Maybe you went to a mic. Maybe you saw a friend. Maybe you worked on that book you were writing. You know, maybe you read a book. Maybe you went for a walk. around the neighborhood. Maybe you went up Mount Pisgah. Maybe you went up Mount Pisgah. Maybe you hiked with a buddy. Maybe you took a bike ride. Maybe you pooped your pants. Whatever it is, write it down. Just one thing a day, or you can write more. But that's a proof of concept I'd like to have. I want people to write down something every day. I might even make it a Google Doc so I get all your little infos. It'd be anonymous if you wanted it. But I like that idea of sharing where we're at. What are we doing each day? And going from there and using each other as support. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to scaffold our support. It's not supposed to be one thing, two thing. It should be a lot of things. We should have support. That's why they're called systems. They're not called support guys. I'm not the only person who's going to be your support. And if I am, sorry about that. But yeah, those are the things that I'm excited about. So if this sounds like something you want to be a part of, reach out, please. jokesandthegym@gmail.com, or find me on the socials, Rudy Tyburczy or Jokes and the Gym, and ask some questions. See, or just watch content and like stuff, or be totally silent and don't give a shit. That's okay too. It's okay to not give a shit sometimes, but other times you gotta shit. You gotta shit. You gotta give it. So hopefully you're giving those shits, because I do, and I'm excited to share them with you. So thanks for taking a little time to consider this, to talk about it, to hang out. I'm excited. I'm excited about moving forward, and I hope you are too. So yeah. What do you know? For the next part of the podcast, I'm gonna revisit one of my favorite guests I've had all year. He was so gracious, so generous, so kind with his time, attention, energy, jokes, laughter. He really impressed. Like, Myq Kaplan is a hilarious comedian. He's an accomplished professional, and he's a good guy. I think he's got a super solid heart, and he's smart, and he's clever, and he's quick, and he's fun, and he wants good for other people. And you see that in his content, and I really appreciate it. I even love reading his weekly newsletter. It's fun. It's long a lot of times. He gives you a lot of stuff, and I'm just on the free version. So check out Myq Kaplan stuff. MYQ Kaplan, Kaplan. He's hilarious. What I'm going to do for the rest of this episode, I'm going to re-listen to the Myq Kaplan episode and try to get 3 or so highlights from it. 3 parts of the conversation that I really appreciated, answers to questions that I thought were cool, and then put those for the last part of this podcast. We'll see how long that takes and all of that jazz. But I'm excited to re-listen to the episode, because there were actually 2 episodes. We had 2 Myq Kaplan episodes. We chatted for so long that I chopped that into 2 different 45-minute episodes or so. So he's just got tons to say. He's happy to say it. I'm happy to listen. And I didn't even know Myq. I just reached out to him, and he said he'd be on the podcast. And so if that sounds like you too, cool. Right on. I'm excited to check out this episode with Myq, re-listen to that conversation, and to share it with you. So let's see what happens. A couple of things. A friend on the podcast last week, his name's Abhishek Kulkarni. He's a very good friend of mine, comedian here. He does have some Boston connections as well. Just finished a degree in art. And he said he says a little prayer before he goes up on stage, essentially that says something along the lines of, may my words bring joy to others. Something along those lines. And it moved me to tears when he was telling me this, because it's such a beautiful idea that I don't think we as comedians keep in mind. I think it's so much of this aggressive, go on the attack, that when someone consciously puts that in their mind before a set, I think it does nothing but good things. And I kind of do a similar thing by writing joy or fun or something like that on my set list, to something I want to try to imbue in there. Do you take a similar approach in your comedy?
Thank you for asking. Thank you for sharing that. That's a beautiful story. Let me say this. Number 1, so may my words bring joy to others. I would like to say a brief prayer right now. may my words bring tears to your eyes as well. It's a competition. I don't want to lose it.
Coming for you, Abby.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, another comedian, told me about Jack Lemmon, I believe, was in a movie, the name of which I forget, but it involved him doing a shot. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Shot of alcohol. And when in the movie he took the shot of alcohol, I believe his character said magic time. He just said magic time and took that shot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then my understanding is, if I now it's like a game of telephone, yet it's still, I was the one who was told, but I'm like, I think this is what he said, that then for the rest of Jack Lemmon's career, every time he would, and this is the part that I'm slightly hazy on, it's either every time work on a new movie began, or every time like the day of shooting began, or every time a scene began, at one point, at some beginning, every new beginning, Jack Lemmon would say magic time, even though he wasn't doing that specific shot of alcohol. He would say magic time. And furthermore, my friend then said he made a point to strive to, whenever he woke up, he would say magic time, just every day, new day, magic time. And so I shared that with my girlfriend, who I live with, and she liked it. We like it together. So now I frequently wake up a little bit earlier than she does. And we have a lofted studio, so I am downstairs. She is upstairs that way right now. And so often I will be here, like either reading or working on the computer or what have you. And sometimes the way that now she usually lets me know that she is awake is I will hear a very gentle, just awakened magic time, or magic time, and then magic time. And it's a nice call and response ritual, much like, I don't know if do you or anyone you know do, like at the first of the month, try to say rabbit first thing. Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of this. Is that like a good luck charm?
It is. It's I had a past relationship where a particularly a more superstitious partner than I am or have now, but it's, to the point that if it doesn't happen, if I realize that I didn't say rabbit at the beginning of the month, I don't believe that any extra like tragedies will befall me, just the classic regular number of tragedies that we're already going to happen.
Yeah,
but
just those
but
ones.
when I do think about it, I think it's just an extra bonus nice thing to remember, like, I think that it's good luck to believe in good luck. Like, I don't think you have to believe in bad luck. It's just like a nice thing. Like, it's sort of like a potential self-fulfilling prophecy. There's a shape of this. Oh yeah. So I think I was emailing, I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I think I was emailing with a friend recently, and one of us wished the other person well, like well wishes. And I think like maybe they said, I wish you well. I was like, well, your wish is granted, because by the very fact that you are wishing me well, I am well, at least in that I have this friend who wishes me well. It's really nice. I mean, during the beginning phases of the pandemic, when things were locked down and I was doing like many more like live stream shows and podcasts and stuff from home, I remember one time specifically somebody asked me like, how are you? And every time somebody asked me, how are you? I really, even if it was just like, how are you? That's my first initial question. Let's move on to the bulk of what we're talking about here.
Right.
But I would answer it sincerely that like I am, at least in part, like I contain multitudes. One of the multitudes I contain is Walt Whitman, who contained multitudes himself. So it's like an inception Ouroboros of multitudes.
It's multitudes of multitudes. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes, mom for short. Multitudes of multitudes.
I love mom.
Yeah, we were talking about moms off air before we started. Shout out to moms, without whom most of us wouldn't be here.
Shout out.
And shout in as well. Shout out, shout in. If you just do shout out, that's just so. If we're doing more anagrams or acronyms, it's weird. For as much as I care and think about words, I often do scramble initially anagrams and acronyms. I wish they sounded different, but they sound pretty similar.
Pretty
This
close.
is all to say. Somebody says, how are you? I say, part of how I am is grateful that there is someone who, even if they are just doing it in an obligatory way, are going through the societal, communal motions of expressing care.
When we talk about the weather, we are not talking about the weather. We're talking about, I care enough about you to spend time interacting. And that's why small talk is never quite as small as it may seem.
Oh, yeah. You just reminded me. I wanted to remember this, and now I do. Thank you for your service. I checked into a hotel a couple nights ago in the D.C. area where I was performing, and the guy behind the desk who was checking me in had a name tag that said, among other things, it said his name, but under that it said, my passion, the weather. And I really don't know. We didn't chat much more because there were people behind me that needed to be checked in. But I really was wondering, is that truly his passion, or is that truly his way to say, please don't ask me any more questions?
I mean, did you get the vibe that it was a sarcastic kind of thing? Like he wouldn't have welcomed weather talk? Or was that just something to break the ice, if you will?
Whoa, what you've done is good. The answer to this question is it's one of the answers that I'm happiest. I didn't always love the answer to this question, but I'm excited to tell you the answer to that question is I don't know.
Yes.
But classic. I learned that from the Dalai Lama, among others, and my friend Myqa. But the Dalai Lama once said to and I don't know if he said it only once or more than once, but at one point at least, somebody asked him a question. He's like, "That's a very good question," and the answer is simple. I don't know.
The Dalai Myqa.
Here's one other thing that I do know, sort of rounding out the question that you asked. And again, I love that I am going to start. I plan to, if not all the time, at times start saying, may my words bring joy to others, or to all, even. Why not even myself? Throw myself in there.
Bring a few extras in.
Absolutely. And here's one other thing that I do at times when I think to do it, and I strive to think to do it at meal times. Are you familiar with Ram Dass?
Yeah, Ram Dass.
Spiritual teacher. I read a thing that he, before each meal, would give, a prayer of gratitude, a thanks. As I don't think he's the person who invented it. He might have, what did he call it? Grace, saying, hey, I think Ram is the creator. No, but he would think about, he talked specifically about how he would think about the food that he was about to eat, and that the food was going to become him, that the hunger that was a part of him it was all this cyclical process that, all of these things were, depending on your definitions and your belief systems, part of the everything that is God. And so sometimes, or the universe, or, this. The here that we are now, as in his classic title, Be Here Now. And so sometimes when I sit down to eat something, I will say a version of thank you, food God, thank you, hunger God, thank you, God, thank you, me God, thank you, all God, thank you, thank God. And sometimes I forget to do it, and I'm in the middle of my first bites, and I'm like, oh, thank you, God, thank you, bites, thank you.
We're happy to be here. Didn't forget you.
Yeah. It's happening, and like the good news is, so a friend of mine once did an ayahuasca ceremony, psychedelic journey of a sort, and one of the things that he experienced that I love is. He shared that he saw this woman who kind of represented the universe or God or something as such, and that she was smiling. And she also said, I'm smiling at you, even if you aren't looking, even if you don't know that I'm smiling at you, like kind of the same way that the sun is shining, even if the clouds are blocking it, the sun is still there. It is equally light and warm as it always is. And so this is all to say, for the listener, for the viewer, for the atheist, I was once like you. Now I am like, why do we have to talk about it? Because I brought it up. Fair enough. But I think this works regardless, the same way that there's a Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. He said once, the great thing about science is that it works even if you don't believe in it. And then I heard this other thing by it was about basically the same is true of magic. Whatever it is, like things work whether or not you believe in them. I saw this Taoist quote recently that was like, "Don't do anything and everything gets done." We think we have like everything will get done. I mean, like maybe you won't go to the store and buy the thing that you want, but everything that does happen does happen. So this is all to say the thanking the God terminology is not required, and I feel like it's the thanking is the thing that like creates sort of the engine, like the engine of gratitude churns regardless of who is doing the thanking or receiving the thanking. Just that the thanking is like kind of a flip of like Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. I say, I thank, therefore thanking is.
I think, therefore you.
Yeah. And over the course of some weeks or months, I eventually learned that I could now run for a full 2 hours. And I was like, this is like, does anybody know about this? That if you work out, you can be in a different shape than you were before later.
Here's a clip on how to make choices.
And do you kind of make those choices those intake choices based on how you're feeling, based on what you want to take in, like what kind of message or vibes or content or a simpler way to ask the question is, how do you choose amongst these seemingly endless possibilities what to take in?
That's a great question. The answer is simple. I don't know. I mean, in part, some things I watch on my own, and like sometimes I have like a show that I watch quote unquote mindlessly, like perhaps while I'm doing the dishes, or perhaps if I've eaten a weed edible, or perhaps like something that I don't feel like, if I miss it, if I fall asleep, if I forget, like cool. Like the show that's filling that role for me right now is Madam Secretary, and I'm enjoying it, and also everything else I said. And another show, the show that I used to feel that way about, and I've gotten through it as much as it exists, I think, is The Flash. And but then there's other shows that I'm like, oh, this one I want to sit down and take in and pay attention and like receive it and let it, wash over me and into me the way the artist intended. And one way that I make decisions on what to watch is with my girlfriend, who has, her own tastes and opinions, and, often like desires and feelings that like she'll strongly and kindly express. I had these two folks on my podcast years ago but I haven't like implemented this, but this is a way to I think decide what to watch. If let's say you're two people, it was Dave King and Little Esther Pavitsky. I don't know if she's still going by Little Esther, but at the time she was. And I think she's the same size now, probably.
I think it's just Esther.
Yeah, probably just Esther. Yeah. And they shared with me, I think they were in a relationship at the time. I don't know if they still are. I wish them well, both in whatever path they're on. They said they had two means of deciding, if they both had different desires for, be it, a restaurant to eat at or a movie to watch. One way was for, let's say for a movie, for if they're like, okay, one person picks like three broad categories that they both have enjoyed before, like somebody like a heist movie, a rom-com, an anime. And then the second person picks, I think, three specific movies from those
genres.
And then the first person picks the one, like, so the second person gets to pick the
options.
They're like, I'd be happy with any of these three. And the first person gave the categories, so they should be happy with at least hopefully one of them, and then they pick the final one. And I guess I do feel like there is a version of that gets implemented kind of like hazily, casually in our relationship, where I will sometimes look at my Netflix queue or look at my email draft of things that I want to watch, and I will not read Rini, my girlfriend, every 1,000 things. I will read her like 5 things, and then she will often be like, oh, this one sounds good, and then we'll do that. And the other thing that Esther and Dave King shared that they do sometimes is I think they call it percentages or 100, and they basically you determine out of 100 how much do you really feel strongly that this is the thing that you want to do, and thinking about the other person's feeling. If you know that the other person wouldn't like the thing that you want, then you'll incorporate that into your thing. But you could, if they say 100, like I think it had to be, if it was 100, if it equaled 100, like if one person was like, I'm at a 1, I don't want to do it almost at all, but the other person was like, I want to do it 99, then then we do it. Or if you're both 50-50 on it, then you do it. It's like, why not? So those are ways to decide. How do we actually, I mean, I think the way is that I have these lists and I review them every once in a while, and then sometimes something new comes out and you're like, oh, a new Reggie Watts special is out, I'm gonna watch that. Or
delightful,
I got a new Batman and Robin comic by Joshua Williamson, an author I like. I got that from the library. It jumps to the top of the queue.
Right.
So
those ones you want in there.
Yeah. And so that's a really valuable experience to have as well, because there are some things that, like, if I look at my library bookshelf and I'm like, which ones? This one, that one. But when something comes in that's like a definite yes, I'm like, oh, I strive to fill my life with, artistic experiences that are the most possible definite yeses. Long-time brain guy, first-time body guy. Yeah.
Here's a question on time travel.
What advice, if Myq did get this time travel contraption and he could speak to young Boston Myq, starting in the comedy club that he will soon be returning to, what kind of input would you give him, or what would you hope that he would decide to cling to?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's one is always when going back in time to try to help yourself. Like there's a lot of risks to this, but if we're saying I'm like, because I'm also like content and grateful with where I am now.
Totally.
I mean, give like bring a sports almanac probably. That never goes wrong. I mean, I guess I would say like be open to different ideas sooner. Like I would say like one way that I was in the beginning was I loved what I loved, and then what I like, if it was something outside of that, like I loved your various like one-liner comedians like Mitch Hedberg and Wendy Liebman and Emo Phillips, and I just like loved those jokes. And then there were like physical comedians who I was like, I don't know, that's not my thing. And now I can watch like like there's so many beautiful artistic creators in every, like there's clowns are some of my favorite, like the the school of clowning that like brought us like Sacha Baron Cohen and that type of, and just physical comedy is now, and I see this in part also because of Rini and her like love of and engagement with physicality and like kinesthetic intelligence as like one of her main modalities of existence, like that dance can be funny and just like a look and a movement, and in ways that I've expanded my mind to include the body.
How generous of you.
And so I would encourage myself to basically everything that I've come to in these past, in the past decade. I'm like, well, I'm going to get there, but I guess you could, here's a little cheat code, little bit ahead. Like, you're going to get into Buddhism. You're going to get into psychedelics. You're going to get into, these teachers and thinkers and these artists and just and listening. That one of the most influential books in my recent years, Rini and I both, she read it and recommended it to me. It's called You're Not Listening by Kate Murphy. And it's hard to recommend to people without it feeling like an affront. But most people could be better listeners. And this book is really, really easily accessible. It's just very simple. And it's something that I come from a talking place. I come from Jews. I come from a specific family. I come from, like, literally earlier today, I was on the phone with my mom, and let me see. Here it is. She had to go do something, and I told her that I was doing this podcast, and she was like, okay, so I guess what she meant to say, what she was saying something like, either you'll call me or I'll call you. But what she did say was, I'll talk to you or you talk to me. And
classic mom text. And
so it's a beautiful thing to have come to a place where I'm still working on it. And I mean, I'm glad that my job is I talk, and I'm glad when I'm invited on a podcast to be interviewed that I am invited to share, in this way. And if we were having a conversation where you're on my podcast, the balance of me talking and you talking would be alternated. And if we were having a conversation at, a cafe, I would strive for it to be less me,
a little more 50-50s.
Yeah. And so I guess that's part of the advice that I give my younger self is that, like, because I was given the advice growing up that it's all me, like I'm an only child. I'm an only grandchild. Like I say as a joke, that I was like in my family, the local messiah, like you can do anything, you can be anything. And there's a thing in the Talmud about, like a rabbi says, have one pocket, I have a piece of paper that says this world was created for you. In the other, we are nothing but ash and dust. And like, those are both valuable, meaningful, opposite, but true things, that we are, a speck in the grand scheme of the time space continuum. And also from our own perspective, that we are the center of the universal experience, consciousness manifesting it right now as this here now. And so I was given a lot of the side of the scale that was like you, me, and I've had to learn, and thankfully comedy has been helpful and my relationship has been helpful, and these various books and teachings have been helpful. And so I would be happy to nudge my past self a little earlier in that direction, to be open to different ideas, to listen more, and
I love it to include the we a little bit more often. That's such a beautiful sentiment, and I think we can all certainly benefit from that, from opening our eyes and looking around a bit more than we tend to at this point. And even because there's so much that is shared between us. And I've started, I'll just mention this quickly. I started a dance class recently. It's called NIA, Neuromuscular Integrative Action, about a mind-body connection and doing things that feel good. And I really have enjoyed it in only a couple of classes. But something that one of the instructors yesterday was saying was just playing on words, and the idea of my body versus the body. So my body is mine. My body is the one I have. And yes, it's not the same as yours and everyone else's, but the body is us. It's what we all have in our DNA that has been here for however long it's been here for. And just that idea made me feel a lot more connected to others and our physicality together, because we're going through so much of the same stuff.
That's great. There's a quick Buddhist thing that goes along with that. The Buddhist teacher Joseph Goldstein sometimes says, kind of like, offers maybe as a mantra. I forget like the exact context, but like to say, this is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. Like in part because the body, whatever we think of ourselves as, is not permanent, is not unchanging. It is not something that if we say we have it, we have a body. Like it doesn't even who has the body. Like the body is, you know, the body exists in this impermanent, changing, constantly way. So I really like that that your class also sort of touches on, the body. Like, hey, whose body is this? It's the body. Yeah,
It's the body. Jesse the Body Ventura.
He really got it. Yeah,
big Buddhist, that guy. Myq, I want to take some time to express some gratitude to you for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Finally.
I know.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, there was another episode. That was fun to listen to Myq again. That was a good time. That's a great couple episodes. Go listen to them in their entirety, 38 and 39 with Myq Kaplan. So much fun. There's lots of times that I laughed re-listening to it. So yeah, I was happy to check those out, in addition to chatting about the 90-day challenge that's coming up. I'm getting excited. I hope you are too. Please reach out if you're ready to make a change in your life and you want it to be kind of fun and like other people are doing it too, and you want to not hate every moment of it, and you can still live your life, and you're going to have more energy and feel better. I mean, there's no freaking reason why not to. And then you could be on the pod too. It'd be fun. Anyways, love you. Hope you're having a good one. And thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tyburczy.
But yeah, for now, come to a show where I am. Follow me where you wish. Listen to my albums. Listen to my podcasts. I'll be happy to have you on at one point on some future Rudy Tuesday. I know you said you release your podcast on Tuesdays. Do you call them Rudy Tuesdays?
It's a hashtag in effect.
Yeah. That is the one.
Yep.
The body, the mind. And I think that covers. If I forgot anything, please. That's fine. I'm trying not to cling to it.
Yeah, we can forget.